You're listening to Destination University, a podcast for college-bound teens and the parents and mentors who support them. If that is you, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Welcome to episode number 89. From first African-American Miss Alabama to award-winning PR agent. Okay, you are going to love the conversation we're going to have today with Toni Purry. Toni is the author of my Hypebook. But the story that sticks with me even today is the story of her journey on becoming Miss Alabama, the first African-American Miss Alabama. So wait till you hear the details. Oh, they're so good. So she's become an award-winning PR agent. And I'm so jelly to tell you that Toni herself has graced the pages of the O magazine. And I know you know which O I'm talking about, the O, as in Oprah. So I've waited literally for years to interview Toni on the show. And you know why I've waited so long is because I know that she's going to be an inspiration for you. She finds a way to raise the bar and find your amazingness, which I think I just made that word up, even if you don't know what your own amazingness is. So if you are a motivated college-bound teen, this show is for you. If you are a parent of a teen who needs some encouragement in finding their own coolness factor and amazingness, this show is definitely for you. And if you are a champion of college-bound teens, this show is definitely for you. Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon, founder of Dream College Academy and College Essay Boot Camp. I'm so happy that you're here. And this is Destination University, where college dreams really do come true. Welcome to today.
There is no guarantee for success, but there are ways to get closer to it when you do the right things. Who you surround yourself with is just as important as what you do. Finding the right people, the right classes, the right activities, and taking the right tests are all decisions that shape your future. Find out more today on Destination University with Dr. Cynthia Colon. Dr. Colon and her guests will give you the tips you need, whether you're a student, parent, or educator. Now, here is your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon.
Okay, everyone. Well, I gave the big intro, and here she is, Toni Purry herself. Oh my goodness, Toni! Literally, how long has it been since we met?
You know, I think it's been about 4 or 5 years, and I think I remember you were at the very first event that I did after I launched the book.
What? That's crazy! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was the BRA Business Relationship Alliance. That was my very first event.
Oh my goodness. Well, you were fabulous. And you know, I attend a lot of events and I don't always remember the speaker, but I definitely remembered you. And I just kind of kept your information in the back, you know, in my Rolodex, which is our phones basically. And so I'm so glad that I reached out. And even once I reached out, you guys, it took some time for us to finally coordinate and get this all squared away. So excited to have you here. It's a beautiful day at the time of this recording. It's a gorgeous day in Southern California. And we're going to just dive right in because I have you here and I'm like not letting you go out of my sight until we do this interview finally. So, you know, share with our listeners, I gave them a little sense of who you are but this Hypebook, can you just share what that is and the story of how it came to be?
Yes. So my Hypebook is a guided motivational journal that walks you through the process of really just taking inventory of your gifts, your talents, your strengths, your wins, your accomplishments. Oftentimes we achieve something and then we're on to the next, and we achieve something and we're on to the next, and we don't really take the time to take inventory. We don't take the time to relish in that, you know, that experience, to celebrate it, to sit in it, to, you know, to be proud of ourselves. However, if we make a mistake or we have a failure or a setback, we will ruminate over that, for sometimes days, weeks, sometimes months, sometimes even years. And so this is a book that is designed to really sort of shift the way or the most prevalent thoughts that you have about yourself, thoughts that celebrate who you are, as opposed to those thoughts that can be hypercritical. And the way it actually came about was I ran a PR agency here in Los Angeles for 10 years, and I loved it for 8 of those years. And we were a luxury lifestyle and tourism agency. So our clients were high-end hotels, were destinations, were, high-end shopping centers. And it was really, really great work. But, as you know, as an entrepreneur, it can be really challenging, really taxing. I had a rock star team of employees. I had an impressive roster of clients, but I found myself no longer challenged, no longer motivated, and just uninspired by the work that I was doing and what I had built. I called the company my baby for, all of those years, and I found myself, I didn't really want the baby anymore. I just wanted to do something different. And I really struggled with giving myself permission to do something different, to have a new dream, to aspire for something new. And I scaled back on the business, and I'm at home now. I've transitioned my employees over to contract employees. I've not renewed contracts with our long-standing clients. And I am really feeling like a loser, to be quite honest. I was in the dumps. My confidence was at an all-time low. And confidence wasn't something that I really struggled with. I've always been a pretty optimistic person, but in that season, I had no optimism. I just felt terrible. And I happened across a documentary about Muhammad Ali. My husband was watching. He's a huge boxing fan. And I was captivated by his confidence. I was captivated by the fact that he maintained his confidence even in the face of defeat. He maintained his confidence even when the country despised him because he didn't support the Vietnam War. He maintained his confidence even when he was stricken with Parkinson's disease. Every image that you think of about Muhammad Ali is a man of true confidence. And I was like, how? How did he maintain his confidence in all of this? And then a couple of clips later, I see right before he's going into a fight, his hype man, his corner man, Boudini Brown, is in his face, Cynthia, and he is ardently yelling and reminding him of his knockouts, his wins, that he is the greatest, that he's the champ. And my thought was, if we all had a hype man reminding us, we'd have that kind of confidence as well. And my thought was, I need to make myself a hype book. And I keep journals. I love collecting journals. And so I'm sitting in the middle of my living room floor journaling. I decide to just journal in great detail. I cut out pictures. I mean, I did a lot of reflection and wrote in great detail about my gifts, my talents, those things that I had achieved that made me really proud. Things like big accounts that we won as a small, agency, pro bono work that we had done that I was really proud of, even running the LA Marathon, something that was really personal to me. And when I tell you I did that for 2 days, I mean, literally sitting in my living room floor doing that for 2 days, there was this ascension of confidence that rose up in me because I was now looking at myself through my success lens. I was taking a moment to really be proud of myself and to see just how much I had actually accomplished. And a girlfriend sent me a text message during that time and asked me what I was doing. And I said, I'm making a hype book. And she's like, what's a hype book? I said, it's the best thing ever. It's when you take time to really take inventory of your gifts and your talents and your wins. She said, Toni, that's amazing. Everybody needs one. I said, I know. That's why you have to do it. And she's like, no, Toni, knock, knock, knock. Everybody needs one, and you need to write that book. And that became a 9-month journey into writing what is now my hype book. And it is a beautiful guided motivational journal that just walks you through the process of celebrating yourself, reflecting, and taking stock of all that you have as an individual to give, who you are, things that you've overcome, lessons that you've learned. Because like I said earlier, oftentimes we don't do that, but we'll really spend a lot of time on those things that disappoint us and not give equal amount of time to our victories.
Well, what you are saying is that you spent 2 days becoming your own hype man, your own hype
Exactly.
woman.
Yes,
And,
that's it.
I love this because it's not about being braggadocious. It's
Right.
really about, in my world, and we're right in the midst of, teenagers having received their acceptances or wait lists or denials.
Mm-hmm.
And they will fixate on the ones that they didn't.
Yes.
And it's important for us to write down and remember, and almost like if we had a wall of your awards and everything that you've ever succeeded at, to remind you and to pick yourself up and give yourself that confidence that you need to get through the next step. So
That's so true. There's a line in the book, because I will tell you, when I was writing the book and I tell a few people about it, they'd say, I don't know, it kind of seems like it might make you kind of obnoxious and it might be. And I'm like, don't worry. First of all, if you're thinking about that, you don't have to worry about going there. But there's a line in the book that would help people to understand. It says, the presence of humility should not mean the absence of personal accolade. The presence of humility should not mean the absence of personal accolade. So we can still be a person that's modest, a person of humility, but it's okay for us to pat ourselves on the back, to say, good job, Toni. Good job, Cynthia. It's okay for us to do that. And when you have children, when they do, let's say your 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old comes home and they've gotten a star, or they've gotten, an award, or you say, what'd you do? Tell me about it. And you want them to be proud of themselves. You want them to celebrate themselves. Why should that be any different when we become adults, or going into college? It is the way we see ourselves is 100% how we project. And it is how people then approach us. It's how we show up.
So good. So good. Okay. So much to get to. And I just, for the record, it's quiet right now. They're doing some work. We're all working from home. So to just go with the punches here. Exactly. And I am too vain to put on my big headphones and to block it out. Like, I'd be doing this. I'm like, oh no. So I'm going to mute myself when you're talking so that you don't hear the background.